You've been working remotely in your home for months, maybe even a year. Now, the corporation wants you to return to the office and you're just not feeling it. My question for you is this: do you have an exit strategy? I'll be back in a moment sharing some thoughts.
Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a special edition to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. I come to you because I had a conversation with a boomer who is faced with having to go back into the office pre-COVID, post-COVID, going through COVID, whatever. They've been out of the office for 7 months, and she really does not want to have to go back. She has a granddaughter, and her schedule, her life is built around working from home. As many of you, many boomer women. So I come to you today asking this question. If and when they ask you, harass you, scare you into returning to the office, even if on a part-time basis, and that is not what you really want to do, what is your exit strategy? Let me repeat that. What is your exit strategy? Because at the end of the day, we have to be reminded, and I'm speaking from someone who was 26 years in corporate, and now I'm on the other side, and there's some things that I really had a chance to come and realize. At the end of the day, it is not the corporation's job to look out for our future, to make us comfortable, or even secure our financial wealth on down the road. It all comes back to us. And when we're boomers and we've been working in these corporate arenas for years and years, the sacrifices are great. The blood, sweat, and tears, the investment of just being a loyal employee, the investment of becoming and staying a valuable employee. When you add it up, it's much. It's great. But when it's time, the handwriting is on the wall for next. You've been at home. You set up your office. You've allowed your lifestyle to be built around working from home. What about your next? How do you navigate, wrap your head around going back into the office? So my submission to you today is that you put yourself first. If you've been working from home for over a year, You have to admit and be honest. You've had a chance to put yourself first by way of thinking about your next, how you're going to implement it. What are your passions? What are those things that you just know to do? You can do them effortlessly. You know, the running joke was that in during the height of the pandemic, people were making bread. And the bread makers, the bread making machines, they couldn't keep them in stock. And all of the supplies that went into baking, the stores found it hard to keep those things in stock. So many people started podcasts during this last year. It is like, wow. Did you find your passion in what you did while you were away from the office, or even away from the office part-time? Did you really take time to sit and think and evaluate your next? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't, and according to the woman that I spoke with, she didn't. She stayed on the hamster wheel of making money for somebody else. When I asked her what her exit strategy might be, she told me that she doesn't have one. She told me that she's getting her financials together to present to a financial planner. And my thought was, you've been at home. You've known that you didn't want to go back to the office, yet you've never got things together for the financial planner so that you could navigate into your next. You never took time to look at what's in your hand already so that that can be a side hustle. We have to demystify and take away the low-level thinking about side hustles, those things that we do outside of corporate so that we can realize our next, so that we can build out a business plan for our next, so that we can understand our why, embrace it, and imagine our next out of what we love, out of our passion, out of corporate. She hasn't done any of that. And ladies and gentlemen, we all are faced with that big R word, reinvention. And let me tell you, when you take time to sit down while you're yet working and you gut-wrenchingly, honestly give yourself permission to say, I love such and such and such and such. I want to learn, I'm going to do whatever comes to the surface for you. And you pray about it. I'm Christian. Yes, I'm going to take it there about prayer and works. You do that hard, deep dive seeking, and you search out the answers that can only come from you. You pair them with prayer, and then you flat-footedly look at the results. But you don't keep praying about the results. You don't keep praying about what your resolve shall be. Faith without works is dead. You say that you don't want to go back to the corporate office, but you pray about it, but you've made no preparation. You've put nothing into place all these months so that prayer can be activated and set up an action plan for you. Do you know that when you plan and you pray, the people that you need to come into your life so that you can move into your next legitimately, they come. Please do not think do not think Please do not think for 1 minute that you can resolve in your mind that you're going to reinvent yourself and become this, that, or the other. And overnight, you are going to replace the earning power that you had on that job, in that career. You have to work towards it. Let me repeat that. Do not deceive yourself in thinking that I'm going to pray and I'm going to get an answer. And voila, I am going to be able to not be able to go back to that office. And voila, I am going to replace my earning power overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not work that way. And at the end of the day, we all need our exit strategy. That's the bottom line. So for the Christian boomers that are listening, take that deep dive look. You know, there's a great pastor that once said, a failure always has a project. Let me say that once again. A failure always has a project. And that comes from the late Dr. Lorenzo Thurman. He lived by that, and he caused his people, for the most part, to live by that. People don't come home and sit and just wait to die. We have a project. And you don't have a project without a plan. It's not going to be successful. You can't throw a podcast together willy-nilly and expect it to be successful. Write the vision and make it plain. Write the vision, make it plain, so that it can be your blueprint from which you build your exit strategy. I had to present these thoughts to you because I was somewhat grieved after our conversation, myself and this other woman and myself. And I thought, the only reason why I'm podcasting now, after traumatically leaving corporate, is because I was podcasting before I left. I had a business plan, even though I did not really see how to execute it, and it's still unfolding years after I left. But you write the vision, you make it plain. It's an investment in yourself before you leave corporate. Write the vision, make it plain, so that the mentors and the masterminds and all of those things that go into walking out your vision, making it a reality so that it can generate income for you, so that it can amplify your purpose, so that it can maximize your days. It can't happen without a plan, a clear exit strategy. Faith without works is dead. Pray all you want, but you have to couple that with action. Do it while you yet work your corporate job. I can tell you from experience, that's the way to go. I'm Margot Levesque, her business, her voice, her conversation. I wanted to share that insight with you. I hope that it inspires you. I hope that it shakes you up. over this 4th of July weekend when we celebrate freedom. How free are you? You're not free when you don't want to go back to that corporate office. You are not free when you do not have a business plan, a strategy, an exit strategy that belongs to you, that you are working. You are not free. So take these words, take them to heart, and do something about your exit strategy. Then you can celebrate freedom. All right. Now, if you're looking to become a podcaster, let me tell you, I love podcasting so much. I eat, breathe, study it every day. I listen to podcasts, I implement, and I built at the height of the pandemic. Well, maybe not the height, but in 2020, I built podcastacademyonline.com, built it out for the boomer looking to build their own podcast. Imagine it, build it, launch it. You don't even have to have a deep dive understanding about what a podcast is, how this is done. You don't need any of that. I built a 7-week program just for you. We begin another session July 24th. All the particulars are over on the website, podcastacademyonline.com. Or go to my website. I've connected everything so that you don't have to hunt and peck and go to 50 billion different places and find information that I have for you. You can go to Margolvett.com. That will connect you to my podcast, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. And that was created because when I came out of corporate, I could not find everything up under one umbrella. How do I reinvent myself to become a podcaster, an entrepreneur, an author? So what I couldn't find, I built for the boomer woman coming out of corporate. And we launched in 2017, and the rest is history. So if I did it, and I had a somewhat loosely built exit strategy, when my hand was forced to leave prematurely, I had something to fall back on, something that the Lord could work with. All right. I just wanted to give this special presentation to you and ask the question, do you have an exit strategy for when you don't want to return to that corporate office? I'll see you on Inspiration Thursdays on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, and How to Fridays. All right? Stay safe. Be well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.